parents, and then we should be able to get started.
Hi.
So make sure to have your real name while we're doing the class. If I feel like it's a fake name, I will be removing people from the call. Parents, and then we should be able to get started. So that works. All right, let's get started. Let me take a look at the chat. Okay, question number 14 from Ohm and abstract reasoning. Let's take a look. All right, Ohm, is it this question here?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's break it down one at a time. So the first thing is, in this question, how many different features do we have? Ohm?
3.
Ohm, is that you, Ohm?
Yeah, 3.
Jerry, is that your real name?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what are the three features? Yeah, what are the three features? I guess.
The two black dots and the one shaded part.
Good.
Yeah.
So the two black dots and then the background colors. So if you focus on the black dots across, you'll see that they're going +1 each time. Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And then you'll see the same thing happen up here, and then the same thing happen up here. Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the final answer, this should go here, and this should go here. So the answer could be B, A, not C, and could also be D. Now the background itself, if you take a look at it, it goes black, white, white, black, black, white. So the pattern itself is black, white, white, black. And you can see that again here, white, white, black. So white, white, black. And then after that should be black, white, white. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And then so the next one would be black, white, white on the left-hand side, and then black on the right-hand side. And the answer is A. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Shanvi, abstract reasoning, question number 31. This question, Shanvi. Shanvi?
Yes.
All right, so let's take a look. So here in this question, we have a black color that's moving around. And what's the other thing that we have changed in Shanvi?
The way the cards are positioned.
Yep. So specifically, which card?
Black.
Sorry?
The black one.
Yeah, the black one's moving, but what else is moving?
The front card.
The white cards.
Sorry?
The card at the front.
Yes, the card that's on the top. Good. So let's focus on the black. Now, because the black is going on so many different places, a way to visualize which one is which is you start off by choosing any one of them. So for example, any one of the corners, and you use it as a reference point. This is my reference point, this is my reference point, this. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then essentially, one sec, Shanvi, let me just mute everyone else. All right. So once you have the reference point, once I draw out my little map, so here, 2, 3, we can map it. So the black starts off here 1, goes here 2, goes here 3, and goes here 4. 1 to 2, Shanvi, how much does it move?
+1.
Yep. 2 to 3.
+2.
Good. And then 3 to 4.
It would go to the back.
Yeah, but how much does it move by?
+3.
Yep. And the next one should be?
+4.
Right. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and it should be in this position here. And that means the answer has to be A or, sorry, not B, but it could be A, C, or D, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, let's map which card is on the very top, which card is on the top. By the way, I'm going to rub this out. So I'll give about 10 seconds if anyone wants to take this because I'm going to rub it out. Okay. All right. So once we have that done, let's draw the map of the card that's on the top. In the first image, Shanvi, it's here. In the next image, it's here. In the next image, it's here. And then it's here. 1 to 2, how much does it move by? From 1 to 2, it goes?
2
+2, good. 2 to 3?
plus 2
Yep. 3 to 4?
plus 2
Good. And the next one should be?
plus 2.
So it goes 1, 2 to here. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
The top card should be in this position, and the answer is D.
But in the third image, isn't there 2 cards at the top?
Yes. So this one here, right? I think this one has been consistently on top, so you can just ignore that, as you can see.
Okay.
It was on the top there, but then it's like second highest, was there, stays there. So the only one that's really changing is the other one.
Okay, thanks.
Melvin,
Yeah.
how can you identify the white card at the top? Because all the other cards are white.
Well, you look at which card is not being overlapped.
Oh, okay.
Shriram?
So for the +2, +2, +2, is it the order of the squares?
It's the order of the card that's on top that's moving.
Okay.
Janisha? Janisha?
So if it's moving +2, +2, +2,
Uh-huh.
shouldn't it be A because A is in the second position?
Are you sure?
Oh, no.
Yeah. See, I actually fell for the same error. You just have to double check.
Yeah.
Ria? Ria, you're behind it?
How's it moving +2? Isn't it supposed to be +1?
In what, like, what do you, no, it's not. The reason is, if you look at the map, from here, it goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Like that. All right. Next.
Melvin, how are
Yeah.
you supposed to raise your hand?
I'm not sure. It's different on each,
You have to press 3 dots.
and then yeah, probably go from there.
Reactions.
Next question, let's take a look. Neha, question, you have 9 and then 11. Which one would you like to do first?
I just want to know the answers for that.
So I'll just do 11. And then I'll be sending the answer key to you tonight. But yeah, so
Okay.
so 11, the pattern is essentially, if you take a look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points here, right? 3 points here, and there's 15 points here. There's 4, there's 5, there's 20, so there's 3, there's 4, and there's 15. Sorry, 12. Do you understand?
Yes. Melvin, when are you gonna send that thing where we put our scores in? Because I don't think the Sunday class
I've done it.
gave you our scores.
Yeah, so I was, it was already sent from last week's, but then now that you remind me, do send that again. So in this class, if there's anyone who's from the Sunday class, could you please fill in this form? Let me open it up for you.
Melvin,
Yes, Elma?
When is the mock exam 3 answer key coming?
hopefully by tonight. So
Oh,
it's done. I just want to make sure that there isn't any other errors on it. But then, like, as in, it's already done. That's why we used it on last weekend. So I just need to double check things.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Melvin,
Yeah.
so basically in this question, it's the first box's sides times the second box's corners to get the third box's corners.
It's not just the sides, but also it could be I'm pretty sure it's just the corners, because the first image here is more than 5 sides.
Oh, I accidentally messed up what I was trying to say.
Yeah, that's all good.
Okay.
All right. So everyone, I'm sending that link now. So if you were in the Sunday class, could you just fill out this form with your mock exam scores? Again, I would ask you to be honest when you're filling this in, because it's really going to defeat the purpose for you and then for everyone else. Now I'll tell you why. Like your individual score. So let's just say I'm going to choose on someone random. So Kavya, you're doing the exam next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to randomly choose you, Kavya, okay? It doesn't mean anything, all right?
Okay.
Imagine, like, for example, Kavya is putting in your scores. I'm not going to look at the scores and say, oh, Kavya is a good person or a bad person because her score is high or low. No, the main purpose of these scores to collect it is so that we can find out what the average score is, so how kids generally tend to do. And then based off that, it gives you information. So it gives all of you the information as to how you are doing. If you inflate your scores, what happens is it turns into a vicious cycle. So what happens is, imagine the real average is this, and you decide you want to fake your scores to put your scores like this. When you fake your scores, the average then goes up to here, and then you feel like you're not smart enough. So you fake your scores again, and because you fake the scores, the average goes up here, and then it ends up, everyone getting 100% correct, right? So please be honest with this, and I'm just sending it into the chat now.
Excuse me.
If you were in the Saturday class, do not fill this in. It's not needed.
Melvin,
All right, 1 second. So I won't take any. Yeah, okay. Does anyone have an emergency question or a very important question that needs to be asked?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, send it in the chat now.
Wait, Melvin.
Send it in the chat.
Sorry.
Gurbaz, you don't need the answers, so you've already done the exam. Yeah, so Kavin, send me your question. That's perfectly fine with Ula.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so it seems like nobody actually had an emergency question. A lot of it was just like, can we do a specific question? All right. So Naveen asks, do we fill it in today or fill it in tomorrow? You can do either or, it's fine. I'm going to be taking the averages from the Saturday class anyways, because the Saturday class average doesn't really affect it because we have enough students to find an average. But if you do fill it in, the benefit for you guys, see the benefit for you if you fill it in honestly is that I can tell you how you're doing overall, things like that. All right. So because
Melvin,
sorry, my friend, Arush, I would ask you to send it in the chat. I'm not taking questions over the microphone. But yeah, because I've scrolled all the way down, could you send your scores into the chat? Send your next question into the chat, and it'll be the first one who sends the next question will get their questions answered, and then so on and so forth. So it'll just be like first come, first serve from the next set of questions. Somebody asked, how do you calculate the marks of GATE? Because the website is 200 plus, where the mock exam gets calculated to 155. All right, this is an interesting question. I've been getting a lot of these questions from parents recently. A lot of parents are asking, Melvin, the Loyola mock exam is 155. The actual GATE exam is 210. That's a cutoff, and it goes up to 400. How does this, work? Well, basically, you need to forget what this raw mark means. So both these numbers are not like essentially correctly correlated into the GATE exam. It's like me asking any of you. So for example, does anyone know who set the world record for the 100-meter sprint?
Well,
Usain
Usain
Bolt.
All right. Now, if this year when's the next Olympics going to happen? Does anyone know?
August.
This year?
This year, 2028.
September.
It's this year.
So this coming Olympics, if I'm training an Olympian, so I'm training the 100 meters athletics team, right? And I'm telling them to prepare for the running match. Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna have to mute you. All right. So if I'm training them and they ask me, Coach Melvin, what is the time that I need to win the gold medal? Now, obviously, it's very like, there is an answer you can give, which is if you can do the 100-meter race in 1 second, I think you're going to win. But that's not possible, is it? If you can do it in 6 seconds, you're going to win. Again, very, very close to impossible. If you get up to the world record of like, what's the world record? 9 seconds or 8 seconds? You could win, right? It's very, very likely you will win. Very likely, but it's not guaranteed because you can't tell what the winning time is, right? If you know what the winning time is, you can make a lot of money gambling. Similarly, the GATE exam, it's not a score where if you get a score, you can get in, right? Because if you think about it, there's only about, 200 seats, approximately 200 seats at Perth Mod. So if there's only approximately 200 seats at Perth Mod, it's not like anyone who gets up a certain score, they can go to Perth Mod. Let's just say this year, all the kids who did the exam are geniuses and everyone gets 99% on the GATE exam. They can't have all 6,000 kids go to Perth Mod because it's too full. They can only choose the top 200. So is there a way you can convert, the raw marks into GATE? No, it doesn't work like that. What the 210 score, so in total in GATE, theoretically, there is 100, 100, 100, 100 marks in 4 sections. You only need 210 to be considered for GATE. Now, 210 doesn't mean that you'll get into the into Perth Mod or any of the schools. It's what's the minimum for you to kind of like pass the threshold.
The benchmark.
Yeah, this score is approximately 33% or of the top 33%. So that means if 1,000 students take the exam, the top 333 students will get 210. That's what I know so far from the website. I'm not fully sure. I'll have to double check. Now from there, they put they spread out the scores and then see how they go. So the way it looks like is in pretty much like in everything in life, the scores will kind of look like this, where this point is where most of the kids are, and this is the the median / mean score, like the average score. This, and very few people get 100%, very, very few people get 0%. And this is probably where 210 is. Now, if you want to get into Perth Mod, again, think about this. There's 200 spots available, and there's about 6,000 kids taking the exam. That's 2 out of 60, 1 out of 30, right? In probability wise, that's like the top 3% of students. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
The bigger this number gets, if it gets to 8,000, if it gets to 10,000, again, way more competitive because this doesn't get bigger. So the scores, you need to get are higher. So if you want to know, for example, how does the Loyola scores kind of correlate? Again, internally within Loyola, we kind of have an idea of how it could correlate, but we don't share that. We just keep that between ourselves because again, it's not useful for any of you. If you're in the top, let's just say you're in the top end, right? You're in the top 10 students of all of Loyola. Knowing that information, it's not going to help you because again, this is a practice test at Loyola. This is not the actual GATE exam. As much as Loyola tries to make new questions, tries to update our booklets and everything, Loyola is not a perfect correlation of the GATE exam, because what if this year the GATE program makes a whole new exam, right? What if they completely change things up? So again, there's no point in you thinking, oh, I'm in the top 10. I don't need to study anymore. I'm doing really well. And you go in and then, you don't do so well. Or on the other hand, if you're in the middle section or if you're in the bottom section, now this is something that one of the reasons we don't share this information is because Loyola has got it wrong so many times. Like in the past, there's so many times I've had students in this section of the bell curve, right? Where they're just below average. So many students who are in this part, I never thought they would pass the GATE exam. But then they would call me up later when the results come and say, hey, Melvin, I got into GATE. And I'd be shocked. Like, oh, wow, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. So again, if I were to tell you, oh, yeah, you're in the bottom, bottom 40%, bottom 30%, by hearing that, you're just going to be sad. And you're going to say, oh, what's the point of trying? I'm not even above average, right? So don't worry about these individual scores. Again, literally just like everything in life, literally like everything in life, you just have to give it your best shot. If you give it your best, then, you've tried your best. And if you get it, you should be proud of yourself. If you didn't get it, you should still be proud of yourself because you put so much effort into it. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
if we have 35 questions, then how do they mark it out of 100? Is it like percentage-wise?
Yeah, so I believe that's how they want to convert it, but I don't think it's a perfect percentage, change. So they don't just go, oh, you got 3.5 marks out of 35, so you get 10 out of 100. I don't think it's like that. They do a bunch of other stuff in between.
Can anyone ever get 400 in the GATE exam?
Good question. So it's very similar to the ATAR exam. So the ATAR, like in year 12, it stands for Australian Tertiary Admissions ranking, pretty sure.
Yeah, I got 99% in that.
Yeah. So this is the Australian Tertiary Admissions rank. So again, look at the word rank. It's not as percentage score, it's a rank, meaning that like the score you get is which rank you are compared to all Australian students. Now, a lot of times, for example, people say, oh, I got a 97 ATAR. That means I'm in the top 3% of students. It's not exactly correct. I believe, I'm not fully sure. I believe it's either more or less. But again, with the ATAR, it doesn't go up to 97 all the way up to 100. It goes to 99.95, I believe. Yeah, 99.95. It doesn't go to a perfect 100. And the reason is, again, because it's a ranking, right? Imagine you're running, you're writing a test, and then there's the top mark was 100%, and then there's 5 people who got 100%. You can't have rank 1 for all of them, right? So they kind of stop it off at 99.95. All right. And again, 400, I've never heard anyone get 400. I think they've only gone up to, like, the highest I've heard would be probably 300 and something, but nothing higher than like to 400. All right.
Melvin,
yes, Ryan.
are the mock exams in 4th, 5th, and 6th, are they in Murdoch University or they're online?
4th, 5th, and 6th, we don't have mock exams. We just have like extra classes. So the classes where I'm running right now, I'll be like sitting down and then answering more questions like that on the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Oh, so it's online?
At the moment, it's looking to be online. If we do, at the moment, it's going to be online. If we do it in person, last term, I asked a few parents, I said, hey, could you take 3 seconds out of your day and leave Loyola review? So the parents who did it, we would like to say thanks to them. And as a way of showing thanks to those few parents who did it, we'll be prioritizing them and saying that, hey, you guys can come face-to-face, but everything will be live stream online. But it's not confirmed yet. We'll be sending the details out later. Let's continue with
Morning.
the
Morning.
questions, guys. We have very little time together. I think it's a better use of our time where I go through some questions and we learn for the exam rather than going through just like generic questions. So let me take a look at the next question, and that's from Ashvi, question number 26. All right, Ashvi, taking a look at question number 26. Now, Ashvi, based off the first mock exam where we did a question that was similar to this, what do you believe this could be? What does it, what would you think it is, the pattern?
Clock times?
Yeah, you would think it would be clock times, right? Now, did it work out to be clock times?
No.
No.
No. So if it's not then clock times, what you should realize is that it's individual lines that are moving. But everyone, Ashvi, Kavya, Momina, Shashwat, could you guys stay muted, please, everyone? All right. So let's split it up into individual lines and see how they're moving. Starting off with this left line. Now, as you can see, one of the thing, by the way, this is a general tip, not specific to this question, right? This is a general tip for abstract reasoning. When you're doing abstract reasoning, and then you have two features that look the same, see if there's one of the features that are consistently in one part of the image, right? So for example, is there one feature that's always in a corner? Or is there one feature that's always in the middle like this?
Yes.
And then when you do that, you quickly are able to separate which line is which in the next images. And you soon see that this line is the line that could go middle corner, and the other line is always in each of the corners. So it saves you a lot of time in finding the pattern. So starting off with the first one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll show it to you by highlighting it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And the pattern for the next one should be 5, and it should be on the right-hand side. Do you guys understand?
Yes. Yes.
Right, awesome. And then the next one, the other color, it goes, oh, oops. If we draw the map, it starts off on the right-hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes +1, +1, +1. Next one should be on the right-hand side. Do you guys understand? And then both of them being on the right-hand side, the answer is C. Ashvi, do you understand?
Yes.
All right, Jay, question number 25. This one, Jay?
Yes.
All right, so let's take a look. Going across, we have, but by the way, let's try and see if there's a pattern going across, then we'll go down. Going across, we see that this black dot is going +1, and it goes +1 up here. The other black dot goes +0, and then +2. Okay, interesting. Is that consistent later down the line as well? This black dot goes +1, and it goes +1 there. And this black dot goes +0, and then +2. All right. Seems like a very strange pattern, but if it works, I guess. Well, actually, does it work in the next row? And unfortunately, it doesn't.
No.
You can see they both have moved. So the pattern must be going down. Or it could be that this is this, and maybe. Let's take a look. All right. So looking across the other way. Actually, yeah, let's take a look, looking across the other way.
I noticed the pattern.
All right. So, all right. So, right, continue.
So then, like at the bottom with the black dot on the first row that you drew a line to, it's like it's going up by 1, and then from the second black dot, it's going also up by 1, and then because like you don't have like the thing for the second one, you check in the third one to see if it's consistent. So then in the first box in the third one, like the one at the top, it like goes down by 1 each time, so it's a bit consistent. So then I think it would be like that for the for the second row. So like look at the top dot in the second row because you can see it goes down by 1. So I think it's gonna go down by 1 again.
Okay, yeah, let's take a look. So here we have,
Melvin,
yeah.
I found another pattern for 35.
Right, so I'll just go through it here. Sorry, Sanuki. But again, so what I was saying was that if we go across, let's see if it makes sense if the dots were the other way around. And I believe it might. So this dot, we have to assume that it went to there. So that would be +1, +2. Do you guys see that? And then it goes +1 to here. The other dot starts off and it goes, the other dot, it goes +2 to here, and then it goes +1 to the top. Do you guys see that?
No. Yes.
So the yellow goes +2,
Yes.
and it goes +1. All right. Let's see if that makes sense in the bottom row. So in the bottom row, I'll focus on this. If it goes +1, 2 to the top, makes sense, and it goes +1 to here. Does that make sense? And then the next one goes +2 to here, and it goes +1 to there. All right, that kind of seems to make sense.
Excuse me, Melvin.
Yeah?
How much mock exams will we have?
My friend, so as I mentioned, I didn't, sorry, Jewel, and was that Sanjay who asked that question?
Yes.
Yeah, Sanjay and Jewel, first of all, I've asked before, I don't take questions over the microphone. Again, because especially Sanjay, I was in the middle of explaining a question. So by asking that question, it throws me off what I'm explaining to everyone else on the call, right? And then it's not an important question to this question, like it's not relevant to this question here. So in the future, I would like you to either wait, or you can always send us an email and then we can answer those questions later. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so let's continue. So where was I? So yeah, as we were saying, let's look at the middle row, starting off with this yellow dot. So we know it's +2 to here, and next one should be +1. And this green dot, it should go +1, 2 to the second row, and should go +1 to the middle. Does any of the answers make sense for that? Jay?
I don't get it.
All right, Jay, let me reiterate. So which part do you not understand, Jay?
I said yeah.
Sorry, Jay?
I said yes.
Oh, it was me.
Jay asked for 35? Oh, Shashwat, you don't understand. What do you not understand, Shashwat?
I don't understand. Like, how do you know which dot is which? Like you said, you color coded it green and
Good.
yellow.
Yeah.
Right? How do you know which
All
is
right.
which?
Do you remember what I did in the first time we tried the question? What did I do?
I asked. No. I went to my dad because something glitched out of my computer.
Okay. So the first time I did it, what I did, Shashwat, was I said that this dot stays the same and these two are the same. And then when I tried it, the pattern didn't make any sense. So when that didn't make any sense, I said, all right, let's try the other way around. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So another way of thinking about it is imagine you have imagine you have 3 light bulbs here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have 1 light switch. And then if you turn the light switch on, and you can only go check one of the rooms at a time, okay? If you turn the light switch on here and you go to this room and the light is not on, what does that tell you?
That tells that it's it is either went to the other room.
Yep, good man. So it goes to, so that means it tells us that logically this light switch was for this room, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So similarly, when we tried the first time round, this pattern didn't make sense if I went here. So that tells me that this dot must be this dot. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that's how you kind of figure it out. But again, like with practice, when you do it a lot of times, again, you have to like consciously practice it. When you do that a lot of times, you can always do this much, much faster. But again, as I'm explaining it, it's slower. That's all.
Okay.
All right. Next, Jal, question number 4, quantitative reasoning. Wait, this is the incorrect numbering. Let me take a look at that. 3.1, 3. Oh, there you go. All right. Jal, question number 3, this one here, Jal? Or sorry, 4, this one?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look, Jal. All right. Okay. So Jal, here we have a circle. All right. And let me draw a better circle. All right. Here we have a circle, Jal. And then the question says that there's a person who's sitting at number 14 here, and there's a person who's sitting at number 7 here. And then there's a person at number 31. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. And then the question says that the distance between number 14 and 13 is the same as the distance between 31 and 7. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's the distance between 31 and 14?
17.
Good girl. So there's a distance of 17. So what does that tell you of the distance between 7 and 31?
It's 17.
Good girl. So now that we know that the distance between 7 and 31 is 17, let's figure out how many people there are. Now, if I start with 7, Jal, how many people is there to go to person number 0 or the last person? Or another way, first person. So imagine this is person number 7. If I work backwards to go to the last person, how many people are there in between?
7.
So imagine there's 7 people in a room. If you want to, in a line, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7th person. And you want to get to the end of the line or the beginning of the line. How many people are there in between?
7.
7.
Yeah, 7. So that brings us to the last person, which is person number X. Do you understand?
Yes.
And then from there to 31, how much spaces do we still have remaining? So
Okay.
Jal, this total distance is 17. And then this distance is just 7. So this must be
10.
10. Do you understand?
Yes.
That means from the 31st person, to the last person, there's 10 people in between. So the last person is person number 41. 41.
Makes sense.
How is it like 10 people in between? I wasn't really sure when you explained it. That's why I asked right now.
Right. So as in, do you understand how we got the numbers 10 and 7 from?
I understood how you got 7, but I don't understand how you got 10.
Okay, the question says that the distance between 14 and 31 is what?
17.
Good. So that means the distance between 31 and 7 is also 17. So if this distance is 7, that means there must be another 10 here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Next.
Melvin,
Yes.
I'm still a little bit confused in this question. Couldn't you work from 17 to 31?
17 to 31.
I mean 7 to 31.
Could we work from 7 to 31, sorry?
Because the difference between 7 and 31 is 24. So couldn't we do that instead of 14 to 31?
No, because the distance between them is not 7. The distance between, the question says this distance and this distance are the same, right?
Yes.
So we don't subtract 7 because that would be incorrect. We subtract 17. So another way to think about it, Aditya, is kind of like this. Imagine you have Perth, you have Darwin, and then you have Margaret River, and then you have Port Hedland. Okay?
Yeah.
Actually, so do you guys know where these locations are? Can you visualize it, or you don't know where they are on the map?
Yeah. I don't know what it's
I don't know.
What is
Okay.
called?
Let's do another example then. How about we have Finland up here?
I don't know.
Please tell me you guys know where Finland is.
I don't.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
No, I do.
No.
Yes.
Boys, come on.
No.
Canada. So imagine you have Canada. You have
West.
you have the
Where's Canada?
Mexico.
all right. Sorry guys. Okay. And then you have the United States. Oops.
Okay.
United States. And then you have Mexico. And then at the very bottom, I think it's Antarctica. Okay. Now, Aditya, someone tells you that the distance between let's say the distance between Canada to Mexico is the same as from Mexico to Antarctica. Actually, let's do another way of doing. No, that's not a good example. Let me try another way. So let's say you have USA here on the left-hand side. Then we have Spain, and then you have India, and then we have Japan. Okay? I think we
Yeah.
might have something else later. Japan. And someone tells you, by the way, you guys do know that the Earth is round, right?
Yes.
So which is closer, Japan to USA or Japan to Spain?
Japan to Spain.
USA.
Japan to Spain. Japan to Spain.
Japan to
Japan to Spain.
Japan to Spain.
Japan to USA.
Japan to
Okay. The people said
USA.
USA.
boys,
Japan to USA.
boys, come on, what is this? All right. So the people said Japan to Spain. Think about a globe. Think about something round. When something is round and these are the opposite ends, they're actually closer to one another because they're right next to each other on a circle. So the question says, in this question, it says that the distance between USA to Spain, Aditya, USA to Spain is 1,000. By the way, this is not real numbers, 1,000 kilometers, okay?
Yes.
And then Spain to Japan is also 1,000 kilometers. Okay?
Yes.
All right.
You wrote 100.
Sorry?
You wrote 100 kilometers.
Oops, all right. But, 1,000 kilometers. And then someone tells you, Aditya, that this distance from Spain to India is 300, right?
Yes.
What's the distance between India to Japan?
700.
700.
700. Now, similarly, Aditya, what's happened here is that the question tells us that the distance between the person at 31 and the person at 14 is 17. And the distance between 31 and 7 is 17. So you go to person number X first. So 7 to X is 7 people in between. And then whatever's left over is to 31, which is 10 people, and that's 41. All right. Moving on to the next question, which is from Asher, which is question number 8. Asher, which test is that from? Asher? All right, moving on to the next person then. Dilly Bean.
Yeah, did you call my name?
Asher, are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Asher, you said question number 8. Which test is that from?
Maths.
You wanted to do this question?
Yeah.
Okay. This question was really easy basically it's just asking what's the weight of nickel in 1 20 pence, 1 50 cents, and 2 $1. So basically you just find the percentage of nickel in 20p. So in 20p, the nickel is 16% nickel. And then the weight of 20p is 5 grams. So you do 16 multiplied by 5, and you get the nickel in 20p. Okay? Then you find out the weight of 1 50-cent coin. So 50-cent coin has 25% nickel, and it weighs 15 grams. So you do 0.25 times 15. And then finally, the 2 $1. In $1 coin, the percentage is 2%. Sorry. All right, it's 2%. Then the weight, Seth, could you stay muted, please? Seth? Thanks. All right. So in here, sorry, in the $1, how much does the $1 coin weigh?
$1 in nickel,
9 grams.
9
Yeah,
grams.
it weighs 9 grams. So 9 times 2 is 18 grams. Multiplied by 2% gives you the nickel in $1. And when you add them all up, you get 4.91. Do you understand?
Yeah, okay. Thank you,
Yes.
Melvin.
Awesome. All right. A lot of people with their hands up. Is this an important question? All right, if it is, send it in the chat. I'm going to zoom all the way down, and then I'm going to take the next first few questions I'll get after.
Melvin,
1 second, Shanvi, please. Could you just wait 1 second? So just to make things a bit more interesting, what I'll do is I'll randomly say, all right, I'll take the next 10 questions like you just sent in the chat. Otherwise, what just happens is there'll be a series of questions, and you'll be waiting and then you won't see anything. So everyone who has their hands up, send the questions that you have. By the way, Raghav, Veronica and stuff, guys, don't put your hand up to ask a number question. Put your hand up if you have a question that's like other than that. So for example, Aiden, Hannah, Momina, Kushal, Jayshan, Ria, Shafna, Melvin, and Jerry. If you guys have a specific question, send it in the chat. But I'm not going to be taking, like, hey, can you do this question or can you do that question? And then by looking at the chats, I can tell that none of you had a general question. So I'm moving on. All right, next question number 9 and 10 from Isabella. Isabella, is?
I can't enter the chat. I pressed the 3 dots, but they aren't working.
I'm sorry, buddy. Like, I can't help you with that there. All right. Isabella, is it these 2 questions here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look. These questions were pretty easy, but the hard thing was just like following the questions, like trusting the questions. So Isabella, here we have, given below in a velocity meters per square versus time graph, the area under the line of such a graph gives us the distance traveled. The following graph gives us velocity of a particle moving from point A to point G, with B, D, and F as midpoints. What is the total distance traveled from point A to point G? All right. So Isabella and everyone else, I want you to focus on this line here. It says, what is the total distance they traveled? And the question clearly says here in the second line, the area under the line of a graph gives us the distance traveled. The reason I'm highlighting this is because I can guarantee you, after I explain this question, I will get a question from someone asking, why did we do the area? So I'm reminding you, we're doing the area now because the second line says, the area under the line of such a graph gives us the distance traveled. Everyone clear? Zainab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
She just did 28 times 5.
Yeah.
Second.
I
All right, guys. All right. Zainab?
My question where it says where's the total distance, it says something else. It says that given that point A and G correspond to locations A and B respectively, what is the total distance between them?
Yes, yeah. So that was the older version. We made we changed it so it's less confusing. So basically it's again the same question saying between point A and G. But then earlier, I believe in some prints, some of the booklets we printed, it said A to B is this here. And then it said, given that A to G corresponds to A to B. So it's just still saying find the distance from here to here. Do you understand?
Yeah, okay.
So let's take a look. Let's find out the area under the graph. Now, what
Can't you
shape?
just do 28 times 5?
Why?
Because the line for G is in line with 28 and 5.
No, unfortunately not. So yeah, so let's find out the area under the graph under the area under the line. So Isabella, what shape is this here?
Trapezium.
I'm pretty sure your name is not Isabella, Jerry. Isabella, are you with us?
Yeah.
All right. Well, what shape is this, Isabella? Would you like a hint?
Yes, please.
Sorry? It's a trapezium. Now, Isabella, do you know how to find the area of a trapezium by any chance?
No.
That's okay. I didn't either. Like I'm being honest with you guys. I honestly forgot how to do the area of a trapezium. Now, Isabella, if you don't know how to find the area of a trapezium, how would you figure out the area under this line? What would you do, Isabella?
I divide the trapezium into triangles.
Smart girl. Exactly. Smart girls. So you do it into triangles, and then what's the other shape you would split it into?
Rectangle.
Jerry, once again, your name is not Isabella. Last time I checked. So please don't answer Isabella's questions. Isabella, what's the other shape?
A rectangle.
Girl. So let's split it up and then try to solve it. Well, sorry, you can do rectangles and triangles. Now, for the sake of time, Isabella, I'm going to teach you and then everyone how to do the area of a trapezium. The reason being, although it still works, it's just going to be time consuming finding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shapes when we can just find out 2 different shapes. Okay? All good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The area of a trapezium is A plus B multiplied by a height divided by 2. Now this top line is A, this bottom line is B, and this is a height. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what does A in this first trapezium look like? What's a value for that? It's between 5 and then sorry, it's between 5 and it's between 10. So what's that? What's the difference of 5 and 10?
5.
Good girl. And what's the value of B here? Sorry?
13.
All right, 13. 5 plus 13. And what's the height?
10.
10. And then divided by 2. 5 plus 13 is 18 times 10 is?
Melvin,
Mm-hmm.
could you repeat? Oh, yeah. Thank you.
How good? 5 plus 13 is 18 times 10 is?
180.
Divided by 2?
90.
All right. So this shape here is 90 meters, sorry, 90 meters. And then the right-hand shape, let's do it again. What's A for the right-hand shape? What's F to G? What's this distance?
7.
7.
7.
And what's
7
this
meters.
distance at the bottom here?
12.
12.
12.
12.
The height.
5.
5.
Divided by 7 plus 12 is?
19.
19.
19 times 5?
24.
Right?
95.
95.
All right.
95.
What about you?
47.
47.5.
7.
90 plus 47.5.
137.
37.5.
Awesome. All right. Good job, guys. Do you understand that, Isabella?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Excuse me, Melvin.
Yes, Kashika.
I don't understand why we're finding the area of the trapezium.
All right. Can someone tell Kashika what's the first thing I said at the beginning of this question?
You
What did I-
said that
What did I say? That someone will inevitably ask me this question. What did I say?
To find the area of the trapezium.
All right. There's a lot of people.
There's a line.
Okay. All right. So let me take Jayshan. Jayshan, what did I say?
You have to find the area of a trapezium. That's because
Yeah.
it says in the second line, the area under the line of such a graph gives the distance traveled.
There you go. So we found the area because it tells us the distance traveled. So Kashika, I need you to pay more attention in future questions, okay? Hello?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Because I clearly said at the beginning, like, this is why we're doing it. So I need you to pay attention. All right. Okay. I'm going to the chat now. The next question or next two questions that comes up will get answered. So there's Joel who sends 19 and then Sylvina. All right, those two. Joel, 19 in abstract reasoning, is that right?
Yeah.
All right. This one here.
Yeah.
This one was fairly straightforward. It's 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 1 stroke.
Oh, okay.
Sylvina, question 31, quantitative reasoning. This one, Sylvina, here.
yes.
All right. So,
Melvin, can you just go back to the previous question so I can just write down?
all right. Question number 31. So, Raghav, Mainak, could you guys stay muted, please, boys? We can hear you guys talk. I mean, like background noise from there. All right. Awesome. Thanks, boys. In trying to understand our oceans more, marine biologists needs submarine to go deep into the ocean. The only issue is that for every 10 meters below sea level, you would need to be able to accommodate an extra atmosphere of pressure. At sea level, there's only 1 atmosphere of pressure. Note that at sea level, you are 0 meters above or below the ocean. Okay, so Sylvina, basically, imagine this is the ocean up here. So imagine this is surface level, all right? Depth 0. What's the atmosphere pressure at depth 0, Sylvina?
0.
No, double check the question. So it says it
10 meters.
here. Sylvina.
Oh, 1.
Girl, 1 atmosphere pressure. Now, if you go down by 10 meters to like 10 meters down into the ocean, how much atmosphere pressure does this add, Sylvina?
1 atmosphere pressure.
Yeah. Because it says in the question for every 10 meters, you need to accommodate an extra atmosphere pressure. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. So now we're at 2 atm. Now imagine you go to 20 meters. How much more pressure do we add?
2.
Yeah, 1 more. No, well, yeah, just 1 more. And we're at a total of 3 atmosphere pressure. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, got it? Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. So now, Sylvina, the question is saying, what we understand is that what do we start off with no matter what? What's the atmosphere that we start off with?
1.
1. So that means pressure will always be equal to 1 plus whatever depth we are, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what does it say? For every 10 meters, for every 10, we add 1. Do you understand?
Yes.
How do you go from 10 to 1? You can either divide by 10 or you can multiply by.
10.
Well, if you do 10 times 10, you get 100. Well, we want to go from 10 to 1. How do you go from 10 to 1? You multiply by?
1.
Well, 10 times 1 is 10. You're getting there. You're getting there. So you went from 10.
0.1.
Good girl, 0.1. So you do 0.1, multiply the depth by the depth that we are at. So when it's 10, 10 times 0.1 is 1, right?
1.
Plus 1 is 2. And is that correct? Yes. At 10, we have 2 ATM. At 20, 20 times 0.1 is
2.
plus 1.
3.
That's right. And if you look at it, at 20, we have 3 ATM. So the equation is P is equal to 1 plus 0.1 depth. Do you understand?
Yes. Thank you.
No worries. All right, everyone. I'll give you guys your 5-minute break now. Come back at 5:08 p.m. Now I have to get a break because I need to go get some water and then turn the air conditioning on because it's getting very hot in here. But come back at 5:08 and I'll ask you to stay muted while I'm away.
Melvin.
Sorry, my friend. I really need to get some water if that's okay.
Okay.
All right. Mustafa and everyone else, remember you to stay muted, okay? Thanks, guys. And
Yes, they can literally see you right here. No, they can actually see you. Really? Thing is on. Hi there. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Only one of the people. Only the one hour. Hi there, Hannah.
He said to say muted.
Sure. Hi, everybody.
Stay muted.
Back. Hi, Hannah.
Shush.
I'll fail to be quiet.
You too.
Guys, mute yourself.
Quiet.
اتكلم تقول لي خلاص مش عارف ايه shouldn't now be the time of the break?
Guys, isn't our break over?
Yeah, as I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get started. All right. So, first question that sends through now will get answered. So that's Tivia and then Kate. All right, let's take a look. Tivia, question number 33. And then Kate is question number 18. All right. The Mariana Trench has the deepest point on Earth, being the Challenger Deep. The Challenger Deep is said to be 10,850 meters below sea level. Calculate the atmospheric pressure at this depth. All right. So let's take a look. We know that the depth is 10% of the, so the pressure is 10% of the depth plus 1 extra, correct, Tivia?
Yes.
All right. So what's 10% of 10,850?
1085.
1085.
All right. And then we add 1 and we get
1086.
You understand, Tivia?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Kate, question number 18. All right. The length of a swimming pool is increased to 3 times its original size, and its width has increased to 2 times its original size. If the area of the new swimming pool is equal to 1,200, what is the area of the original rectangle? So again, you just break this down, Kate. So the first thing you'll do, by the way, is Kate your name? Or your parents' name?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So Kate, here we have a swimming pool. And it says, let's break it down. It says the length of the pool is increased to 3 times its original size, and its width is 2 times its original size. If the area of the new swimming pool is equal to 1,200, what is the area of the original swimming pool? So starting off, how do you find the area of a rectangle? How do you find the area of a rectangle?
Length times width.
Yeah, length times width, right? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
awesome. All right, so I'll get Kate to answer first. But yeah, so it's length times width. Now, from there, we have essentially the first thing I want you to imagine is this, Kate. Imagine if the original swimming pool was a simple square, right? It was a very simple square that was 1 by 1. Now, Kate, what is the area of this shape?
1.
Good girl. 1. 1 centimeters squared. Now the question says the length was 3 times the original size. So now the length is 3, Kate, and the width is 2 times. So the width is 2 now. So Kate, what's the area of this new swimming pool?
6.
6. So it increased by a factor of what, Kate?
2.
1. Well, it went from 1 to 6, so it increased by a factor of? How do you go from 6? Well, if you're 1 to 6, you multiply by? Are you there, Kate?
Yes.
Okay. How do you what do you multiply 1 by to get you 6?
6.
Good girl. Sorry, I think you were cutting off, so we couldn't hear you. So by increasing the length to 3 times and the width by 2 times, you're increasing the total area by 6. So similarly, if the new pool is 1,200, to go back to the original pool, we just divide by 6, and the new pool was, sorry, the old pool was 200 meters squared. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Melvin,
Yes, Zainab?
I just divided 1,200 by 3 and then by 2.
Okay. And it worked, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Next 2 questions, I'll take it. So Vidula and Ishita. So Vidula, by the way, Ishita, I think I need to drop off some booklets for you, right? Okay, Vidula, I don't know if your microphone's working, but yes, I'll be dropping that off soon. All right, Vidula, question number 28.
Yes. Melvin,
Yeah.
can you just go back to that question so I can just write it down? Finish writing it down real quick. Thank you.
Yes, Arush?
I was just gonna ask if you're taking the questions that were old or the newest questions in the
Yeah,
chat.
so basically next time I say send a question through, I'll take the first one from there like that.
Oh, okay, thanks.
No worries. How do I go to everyone chat? You can't, Horain. So you can only text me directly. The main reason we do that.
Okay, you can go back to everything. Thank you.
Yeah. The main reason we don't have general chat is because it'll be impossible for me to control what everyone is saying. For example, I know on YouTube, there was a few people who were sending inappropriate comments. They had to get letters sent home. So again, to kind of minimize that sort of work, we just don't do that in Zoom. All right, so let's get
chat in break. Everyone, some people are saying inappropriate things.
This one, Vidula?
Yes. Question 28.
Vidula?
Yes, that question.
Vidula?
Yes, it's the 20th
Okay. Perfect. Sorry, I think my volume was turned off. I'm so sorry. I couldn't hear you. All right. A population density can be measured based off the number of a specific species living in a certain area. If there were initially 5 million species of bacteria living on a square grid of 5 centimeters squared, what was the population of density after 1 year? Okay. So Vidula, there's 2 ways you can do it, but the first one is if there's 5 million, right, living in 5 centimeters squared, how many bacteria are living in 1 centimeter square, Vidula? 1. So 1 million. And after 1 year, what happens to the population of 1 year?
1
1.05.
It's not 1.05, so it's a coordinate, so it's 1
No,
and
1.
yeah. But here, if the left is a population and it starts off at 100% and goes to 0.5, what happens to the population? Raghav, I'm so sorry, guys. Raghav, if you're sending me spam messages like this, I understand you want to do a question, but if you spam me, I'm not going to take your questions. So today, I will not be taking your questions because I'm trying to teach a class and I'm trying to give everyone an opportunity. Do you understand, Raghav? Raghav? All right, thank you. But yeah, if you spam me, I won't be taking your question because again, as a teacher, I'm trying my best to answer everyone's question and I'm trying to teach as well. And if you spam me, what happens is it just keeps flashing at my face here and I'm just losing concentration. All right, sorry, Vidula, 0.5. What does that mean? If it starts off at 100% and it goes to 0.5, what does that mean, Vidula?
Halves.
Sorry?
It halves.
It halved, perfect. So if the population started off at 1 million, what's the population now then, Vidula?
0.5.
That's exactly right. So it's 0.5. Oh, I don't know why this was an accident. Apologies. It's supposed to be 0.5 million per square centimeter. Do you understand?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Got it? All right. Next question was after Vidula was Ishita. Ishita, what was your question? Ishita? Ishita, are you there?
Melvin,
Yeah.
I've just got a question. What does this little arrow thing mean?
Which arrow thing?
The one next to 5 centimeters.
Oh, it means squared. So it like, you know, like 2 squared is the same as 2 like squared like that.
Melvin, I just have a question.
Yeah, Kapish?
So for all when you go up,
Yeah.
you see the bacteria graph, right?
Yeah.
In ours, it's not color copied. So we can't exactly tell if when we get to the 2, we can't exactly tell if it's just the straight bottom line or the actual red line as it shows here.
You raise a good point. So what this is, it's in maths, this thing here is called an asymptote. Don't ask me how to spell it. Spelling wasn't my strong subject. I'm horrible at it. But if you Google it, you can search it out. By the way, for those of you who are like me and can't do spelling properly, do you want to know a tip on how you can kind of trick the teacher into thinking you know how to spell things right?
Yeah, I
Please.
wanna know.
You just kind of like make it
Yeah.
really nasty like this. And
Yeah, I
then-
want to know.
yeah, you just hope that they think that you got spelled it correctly, but then, you know, your handwriting's really bad. But yeah, asymptote. So an asymptote, Kapish, is basically like, let me guess. Let me give you an example. So in my school, my maths teacher had a funny example. She said an asymptote is like, you know, the maths kids in school trying to get a girlfriend. They get closer and closer and closer, but they never end up, you know, getting together. So an asymptote is when a number reaches another number or a line reaches a number, it gets really, really close to infinity, but it never reaches that number. So in here, although it looks like it reaches 0, technically it'll be probably like 0.0000000 dot 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 dot, you know, 1 or something. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yep.
Melvin,
So 1 second. So let me break it down one step at a time. So because of that, now how do like, you know, where do you stop? So for example, you know, even at 1.6, it might be 0.01. It might still be close to 0. Well, you take a look at the question where that's relevant, and the question was, how many months would it take for the population of bacteria to go extinct? Now, at 2, it's months, by the way. At 2 months, the population is still close to 100%. Do you see that, Kapish?
Yeah.
At 12 months, it's half of the population. It's not extinct yet.
Yeah.
At 1 month, definitely not extinct. at 24 months, which is 2 years, you would assume that it's extinct by then. Do you understand?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, it's like same thing. By the way, another example of asymptote in real life of this is using hand sanitizers, right? You know how hand sanitizers, they say they kill 99.99% of bacteria? The reason is you can't, like, technically kill 100% of it, like, or you can't consistently do that. That's why they say 99.99. You get close to it.
Melvin,
Yes, Jeshan?
for question 28, won't it be 2.5 million square?
No, it won't be, because this is per 5 centimeters squared, and this is asking per square centimeter.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Not yet.
Okay, so imagine I tell you, Jeshan, that there is, let's just say, 50 trees in 5 parks, okay?
Yep.
And then I cut down half of the trees. Now you have 25 trees in 5 parks, correct?
Yes.
Then I ask you, how many trees are there in each park? You would say there is 5 trees in each park, or 1 park. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
There's 2.5 million currently left over in 5 centimeters squared. But the question is in per square centimeter. So per each square centimeter.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
I understand now. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Another thing is I see that some of you have random things in your name, like country names and things like that. I would request you just to have your actual name and nothing else, if possible. All right. Next 2 questions that comes up in the chat, I'll take it.
Excuse me, can you please do question 29?
So again, Hurain, I'm sorry, I don't take questions off the microphone. The reason being is if I take your question, then another person will do the same thing, and eventually it just becomes everyone speaking into the chat. So if you send it in the Zoom chat itself, I have control over the class, and therefore I can teach. So if you send it there, I'll take a look at it, and I'll hopefully get to it. So the next 27 from Aaron, and then Kushal, question number 19.
Excuse me, Melvin.
Yes, Shashwant?
I don't think you can read my messages because the last time when you said the next, I'm gonna do the next 2 questions that appears up. I did it, but then you never saw it.
Yes, it's no. I'm sure the message is coming through, Shashwant. But the problem is, like, when I say that, there's 100 people sending messages at once. So I just choose the first 2 that pops up on my screen. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah. Hopefully, I can show you what it looks like later. But then, yeah, it's crazy. Like, the chat is just very, very loud and crazy. All right. Question number 27, Aaron. So, Aaron, this is really straightforward. In this first image, how many points do we have? Aaron?
8.
Sorry?
8.
8. And the next one, how many do we have? Oh, sorry, that's not helpful. Let's try the middle one. How many do we have here?
7.
Yep. Then?
5.
And then?
8.
Awesome. And the last one, we have 5, 3, and then 6. Do you see a pattern, Aaron? -2 +3. -2 +3. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So the top one, we started off with 8, then we went down to 6. So the next one should be?
9.
Good girl. All right, next, Kushal, question number 19, quantitative reasoning. All right. Each dimension of a Rubik's Cube has been increased to twice its original size. If the face of the new cube has a volume of 216 centimeters squared, cubed, what is the area of one face of the original Rubik's Cube? All right. So again, same as the question before, let's break it down one at a time. So Kushal, if I had a simple cube that's 1 by 1 by 1, right, Kushal, what's
Yeah.
the volume of this?
11 times with 1.
Yeah, 1 centimeter cubed, right? Now the question says all the dimensions have been doubled. So now the cube is 2 by 2.
2 times 2.
That's right. And what's the dimension of this one now?
4
8.
centimeters.
Sorry?
8 centimeter cube.
8 centimeters cubed.
Oh.
So when you double all the dimensions, Kushal, what factor do we increase the volume by?
8.
Good man. All right. So similarly, the new cube, they tell us that it is 216. So what would the old cube be? 216 divided by?
8.
Which is?
27.
27. All right. Now, what number multiplied by itself 3 times gives you 27?
3.
3. So the face of one of the Rubik's Cube is 3 times 3, which is?
9.
You understand?
9.
Yep.
All right.
Melvin.
So in maths, whenever you do a question in maths, usually I would recommend you like visualizing it. That helps. Another thing I would recommend you guys doing is break it down into the smallest unit possible. A lot of times, the thing about maths is you will see that if one thing applies at one time, it would continue to apply forever, sort of thing, right? Usually, the relationships of things are linear. Do you know what I mean by that? So for example, if something starts off here, and if you increase the bottom half, the top half will increase by the same proportion. So it would just go up here. Do you understand?
Yes.
A lot of times if you want to find those rules, if instead of doing 216 and figuring it out, start by something really small and easy, like 1. And then you see how it would affect that, and then you can work it backwards. Kind of like it's the same way how doctors, for example, or scientists figure out new drugs. They test it on something really small, like rats and things like that. They see if the medicine works for them, and then they try it on humans later, right? So in maths, try it on something really small and then apply it later backwards.
Melvin.
All right, one at a time. So who had the first question? Ria?
So how did the 8 get on the why do we times it by 8?
Take a look at the image and see if you can figure it out. So while you take a look at that, I'll take the next question, which is Mustafa.
In the thing when you were working out, you wrote 8 centimeters squared, not cubed.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, why are you doing this to me? All right, Shanvi?
Melvin, I wasn't really listening because I was taking notes, but why did you divide it by 2? Like, how did you know you had to divide it by 2? I mean 8.
Again, well, first of all, I can't help you if you're not paying attention. But secondly, again, same thing as I mentioned, Ria, take a look at the image and see if you can figure it out. Ria, have you figured it out? Do you have any idea?
I haven't figured it out yet.
All right. So when you start off with the smallest dimension of 1 by 1 by 1, what's the volume?
1.
That's right. And the question says you have to double it. And if you double it, what's 2 by 2 by 2?
6.
No. Try again.
Is it 2 times 2 times 2?
That's right. Yeah.
8.
That's right. Yeah. By the way, that's a very common mistake. Last year in the mock exam, when I was making the answer key or the question, I believe, I did the exact same mistake. So no need to feel ashamed about it. So it's times by 8. So when you double the dimensions, you pretty much multiply by 8. So you multiply the volume by a factor of 8. Do you understand, Ria? And Shanvi? Hello, guys.
Yes.
All right. Clarence,
Yes.
You have your hand up?
Can you shrink out a bit so I can take a screenshot?
Of course, my friend. All right. Next two questions will get answered. All right, you guys came prepared. That's awesome. Let's take a look. All right, I've answered your question. I've answered your question. All right, Harry. And then next we have Shashwant. All right. Shashwant, question number 28. We've already done it, no? We've already done 28.
No, in abstract.
Okay, abstract. And then Harry, which is question 32, abstract. So let's take a look at both. So 28 abstract, this one here, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm looking at this dot here, and this dot seems to be going +1, +1, +1, like that. Fairly straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So next one is to go +1 to here, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the answer, I mean, looking at it, it has to be A, but I mean, it could also, so for example, from here, it could also go across to here. So it's not enough evidence that we have at this stage. But the other thing that I'm noticing, Shashwant, is this line. Do you see how they're swinging across?
Yeah.
So the next one, those three should be facing this way, correct?
Oh,
The only one that makes sense for that is A.
okay, now I get it.
All right, and then Harry, question number 32, right, Harry?
Yes.
All right. So let's take a look, buddy. The love heart is going my friend Parth, and then my friend Ashwin and Ashley. Could I ask you guys to stay muted, please? You guys.
Okay.
All right. So the love heart, it goes to so it goes down, right one, down one, and then it goes to the left. Okay, it doesn't make much sense. Let's see if there's anything else that makes sense. The lightning bolt goes bottom left, top left, bottom left, sorry, bottom right, top left, bottom right. Then here it goes bottom left, top left, bottom left. Okay. Well, the lightning bolt seems to have an easy pattern. It's just going back and forth, back and forth. Do you understand that, Harry?
Yeah.
So the final image, we know it's lightning bolt is here, lightning bolt is there, and it should be back to this original position, correct?
Yes.
The answer is C. The other pattern I remember seeing was the smiley face. So it was going to this, to the middle, to the top right, to the middle, to the top right, and then it's in the middle, top right. So it should be in the top, top left. So it should be in the top right. The answer is C. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next two questions. So Sanuki and then Nataya. So Sanuki, question number 12, sorry, question number 11, quantitative reasoning. This question, Sanuki?
Yeah.
All right. So here we have 1 block, 5 blocks, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. And here I'm assuming is 11, +4, +4, +4. Do you see that, Sanuki?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, 1 second, Sanuki.
Oh, you added 3 in the last one.
Melvin.
Sorry, my bad. So this should be
I have to go, sorry.
Yeah, you don't need to tell us. You can leave, but that's fine. It'll still be recorded, so you can watch the rest later. All right. So it goes +4, +4, +4, correct?
Yeah. Oh, you added 3.
Oh my goodness. I need to get my brain checked. What's 9 + 4?
13.
All right, thank you, Sanuki.
13, obviously.
All right, sorry. Who said obviously? Why are you being shy, Pranit? Just own it. Did you say obviously?
Me.
Oh,
It's not me.
Oh, so who said it? Mustafa?
It's not me. No, it's not me. Don't.
Okay. Was it Mustafa?
Not me. Not me.
All right.
Not me.
Not
me.
I see. I get it. You guys are mean. You guys are trying to get back at me for hard mock exams. All right. Let's take a look. All right. Back to this question.
Not me.
Tanuki, if it's going +4 each time, if you go back to the beginning of stage 0, what's the number of blocks they would have there, technically or theoretically?
-3.
-3. So we start off by -3 and it goes by +4 each time, right?
Yeah.
So the way to think about it is, at each stage, it's the number of blocks is stage number multiplied by 4 minus 3. And you can see that when you take a look at here. 2 times 4 is?
8.
Minus 3?
5.
3 times 4 is?
12.
12.
Minus 3?
9.
9.
4 times 4?
9. 16.
Minus 3, like that. So stage
Okay.
11 multiplied by 4 is?
44.
44.
41.
Okay.
All right, Sia, you have,
Melvin.
Thank you.
Sia?
Can you please do question 25 QR?
I'm sorry, Sia. It's the same answer that I give to everyone else. I can't take questions over the microphone. Parth?
I'm Melvin.
1 second, Melvin. I'll come back to you. Parth? You have a hand up? Sorry, I wasn't calling you out. You had your hand up. I just wanted to know if you had a question. No question?
Please, Melvin.
All right, I'm gonna skip that then. So Melvin, your question.
So are we just looking at the blocks that are visible, or
Oh, so it actually tells us in the question. It tells us that stage 2 only had 5 blocks. So that you can infer from that there's no blocks underneath. Do you understand?
yeah? Okay, thank you.
Aren't two Melvins here?
Because his name is Melvin.
Why is it 2?
Oh.
All right,
So
Mustafa.
you're
Mustafa.
I accidentally had my hand up from last time. I think I forgot it.
All right. Let's move on to the next question then.
It says 2 Melvins. One of them should be called Melvin Prince and the other one should be called Melvin King.
Yeah, I was gonna, the
That
teachers,
makes sense.
the teachers at Loyola actually have a joke about that. So they call Melvin Prince my son, and then I'm Melvin King. I think they're hoping that I'll give them a pay raise.
They show display date. Okay.
I think they're trying to get a pay raise by calling me King. Or it could mean that I'm such a dictator that they're, calling me a dictator by calling me a king.
Melvin.
Do you run Loyola?
I do, yeah.
Melvin.
Aren't you the owner of it?
I am the owner of the house, yeah.
Yeah.
Melvin, I have a question about 11.
Uh-huh.
How are you going to know the formula of like the stage number times 4 by -3? How are you just going to know that off the top of your head?
Good question. Good question. You don't know it at the top of your head. So what you should realize, Patra, is the thing is, well, there's actually so you'll actually learn this in year 9, like the actual way of doing it. But what you will notice, Patra, is that what are the 2 things we noticed? We know that it's going by +4 each time, correct?
Yeah.
So what that tells us is that there is a relationship. There's a relationship between 1 and then the stage number and then the +4, correct? Or the 4, right? Now, the reason we had this question like that, and I think we had another question similar to that, which was here. We had a question like that here, was what you need to do is whenever you have something that's increasing consistently, this is called a linear line. So what that means is that imagine you were to draw a graph, right? At 1, it was 1. And then at 2, it's 5. And then at 3, it's 9. And it's a very clear line like this. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
And when you have a line like that, you know that there's a pattern. So what you should ask yourself is, well, how does 2 become 5? We know there has to be a 4 somewhere there, but then 2 times 4 is 6. And sorry, 8. And 8, how does 8 become 5? -3. All right, 3 times 4. Okay, how does 3 times 4 is 12, but how does 12 become this? Oh, -3. But then another way of finding it is by going to 0. And when you go to 0, it tells us how much to minus by or add by. Do you understand?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. By the way, that's an
That's
example. That's an example of a good question. The reason that's a good question is because one, the student was paying attention, so they knew how the question works, but then they wanted to know like thinking behind the question. So that's an example of a very good question. All right. I'm going to the chat now. I'm going to the chat now. The next 2 questions, I'll take it. All right. So Ira, mock exam 1, question 23. All right, let me see if we can find mock exam 1. This is it. This one, Ira.
Yeah, it's that one.
All right.
No, wait, no.
Not this?
I think it's mock exam 2, maybe.
2. Mock 4, mock 2. Oh no, not this. Mock 2. All right. 23. This one here. Or is it mock exam 3?
I'm not sure. Probably mock exam 3 then.
All right, this one. Oh, sorry, this is mock exam. Oh, this is mock 3. Sorry, I opened the wrong file for mock exam 1, my friend.
Oh yeah.
I did. That was my fault, not yours. Let me double check. Mock exam 1. Mock 4, mock 3, mock 3, mock 2, mock 2, mock 4. I don't think I have mock 1.
Melvin, can you show us a sneak peek of mock exam 4?
Sorry?
Yeah, you did. Can you show us a sneak peek of mock exam 4?
Sneak peek of mock
Yeah,
exam.
please do.
All right.
Yeah, please.
You know how gamers on YouTube and what's the other one? Stream? What's the other one called?
Stream.
Or what do they stream on? What's it? Twitch. Yeah, on Twitch and YouTube.
Melvin.
On Twitch and Twitch streamers, you have to pay them
Melvin.
My friend, who's asking questions while I'm speaking? Guys, come on. Like, you have to have good manners, right? When someone is speaking, it's rude to speak over them. What was your question? Who was saying Melvin? Who was this?
That was me. Sorry.
All right, Pravana. But I would like you to be patient, okay? I'm happy to answer your questions. I've done it before, but not while I'm speaking, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this question, right? Ira?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll go through this. But yeah, so was it Kushal who asked me to go through the sneak peek?
Yep.
Yeah, so Kushal, you know how like in YouTube and Twitch, you had to pay the streamer to get ask a question, right?
Yeah.
It'll be $20 for a sneak peek of mock exam 4. How about that?
Now I'm good.
Are you sure?
I'll pay 20.
How about oh, someone said they'll pay $20. Awesome. All right.
I'll pay.
I It has to be
Monopoly
dollars.
pay?
Right, no Robux. What's a Roblox dollars called? Robux?
Robux.
Yeah, it's called Robux. ROBUX.
So sorry, let's continue. So Ira, this question, it's just like a play on the letters. So what's 19 as like a letter in Ira?
19 as a letter
What's the 19th letter?
in the alphabet.
Yeah. What is it, Pranit?
It's an S.
S? Sat?
Yeah.
What's 8th letter?
Hat.
H. Yeah, hat.
The next one, we thought it was cat. But then in our head, we completely forgot that EAT was eat. We didn't realize that was a real word. So we chose B or C, you would have got it correct. But it was, cat, hat, sat.
Yeah.
Eat.
But
That was a mistake on the end.
Melvin, technically all the words they're rhyming. So if it was eat, it wouldn't rhyme with sat, hat, and
That's right. And eat.
I just don't know what fat in them. Why can't you make fat instead of cat? Why'd you make a cat?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you make a cat instead of fat?
Sorry, I don't know what.
Why'd you make a cat instead of fat?
For fun, I guess.
Oh.
Melvin, but I have a question.
Alma.
Who? It was me.
All right, Patra.
Even if you did pay $20, the tests aren't for success, isn't it? Just for like learning.
Practice, exactly. It's just, yeah, but then, you know, it's just a joke, my friend.
Melvin.
If you get more money, you can improve your mock test, which will make us get better in the PEC exam.
I'm
Well,
trying
2 weeks.
like mock exam 4 and 5 all have like brand new questions, and it's just been so hard because like we have new questions made, but then I have like today evening I have to go back and like this whole 5 mock exams for this term, we put in so many new questions that it's just like made my life so much harder, because now I have to go back and then remake the answer keys, and it's so time consuming. But also it's all new
Melvin.
makes sense.
Really not.
My friends, so Chanupa, Shashwant, guys, I've just said when someone else is speaking, it's rude to speak over them, boys. Shashwant, do you understand?
What?
I said it's rude when someone else is speaking to speak over them. So just give me a minute and I'll finish and then you can ask me a question.
Okay.
But anyways, I'll just move on. I'll just go on to the next question. So we have a few hands up. Hurain, what's your question?
How do you know that it's B? How do you know that it's C instead of B, even though they both make a word?
How do you know if it? Oh no, it's not. So that's what I said, Hurain. We made a mistake. So when we did it again in our brain, we didn't realize that E was, like EAT was an actual word. I thought it wasn't a real word. Like,
So what is?
Oh, it's
So is the
either or.
actual?
If you chose either or, we'll give it to you because it was a mistake.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you show us? Can you show us mock exam 4? I'll pay you $20 in the next 100 years.
Okay. Sure. Ryan?
For mock exam 3, I think for the 11th one, I have another question.
All right. I'm not taking specific questions like that over the microphone, Ryan. I'm
No,
sorry.
it was a before question, a previous
All right.
one.
Which one?
Quantitative.
So quantitative. Let's take a look. This one here.
Yes.
Yeah.
How will we know if for the second stage, for example, there are 4 ones, but we may know if it is a 5th one because there might be one inside, isn't it?
Yes, it's because the question says here. Yeah, Hannah.
There's an easier way to do that question.
Okay, Hannah.
With the question before question 11, got a question for it.
This one.
No, the one we did before Ryan asked 11.
What was it about?
Yeah, I think I've forgotten.
Okay.
Question number 23.
The cat eat hat one.
Yeah,
Yeah, what about it?
I don't really get how you got cat, and like, was it just like the whole question about rhyming?
No, so 19, what's the 19th letter?
S.
8th letter, hat. So sat, hat, cat, 3. See, like that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm skipping like general questions. In the chat, next 2 questions, I'll take it.
Melvin, this is a question like about the mock exam next week. I'm just wondering.
All right, Alma. Yeah.
Is it face to face or is it online?
It is face to face, always.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you said it was online. I was just clarifying.
Oh, the extra sessions that I'm running is online, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait,
What?
are there
Extra sessions?
Sorry?
You have extra sessions?
Yes. So I'm like
Uh,
taking time out of my free time to give you guys some free extra classes.
Oh, how do you sign up for them?
You're already signed up by being part of Loyola.
Oh,
So where do we find those extra classes?
We haven't run it yet, guys. It'll be coming up soon.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Is that the
It's literally just like the normal Zoom class. Anyways, I want to do some questions now. So let's take a look. Horain, which question is this? Which subject?
quantitative reasoning?
All right, let's take a look. Number, oh, sorry,
29.
29. All right, take a look.
In mock exam 3.
All right. 29, 29. This one here, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, 29. All right, this one, right? This
Yeah.
one. All right. At the 1 year mark, the population is decreasing. The population is decreasing given by the following equation. P is equal to -9t plus c. Where P is the population and T is the time in years. Determine the value of C, the constant. So basically, if I were to rewrite that here, Horain, it's saying that at year 9 here, year 9, right? Sorry, at year 1 here, at this point, right? The population is given in -9t plus c, okay?
Okay.
Now, what is if you were to look at it, what is the population at year 1?
0.5.
0.5, right?
Yeah.
And what is the time in year 1? What is t?
Year 1.
That's right. So just 1, right? Plus c.
Yeah.
All right. What's -9 times 1?
-9.
Zero plus c. Now you move the -9 across and you get +9. What's 9 plus 0.5? What's 9 plus 0.5?
9.5.
Good girl. So the answer is 9.5. So the equation is -9 plus 9.5 is equal to P. You understand?
What I don't get is what is Z supposed to mean? Like what's consonant?
The constant, right? So
Yeah.
again, so this is a bit of an algebra principle. So later when you do linear, like in year, I think you'll do it in year 9. Yeah, you might be doing it in year 9, maybe. Year 8, if you are part of the extension program, but year 9, if you're just part of the normal stream, maybe. And again, depends on the school. But basically, when you have a linear line, when you have something that goes in a straight line, usually it has a degree of how steep it is, like this. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Like this is really steep. This is less steep, or this is less steep. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But then in a line, you also have like a perfect line looks like this. But sometimes a line can move across. So that's what the plus C looks like. Or sorry, it can go up. So that's what the plus C looks like.
Okay.
Or down, like this.
Thank you.
All right. Next.
Melvin?
Sorry. Is it specific to this question, the question you're asking?
I just want to ask you something about the GATE exam.
All right. I'll take this question and then I'll go to the next one. Yes?
And how long will we have to like spend on that day in the
Exam
hall?
Yeah, about
Yeah.
3 hours.
Oh,
2
okay.
hours and 10 minutes, I think, something like that. I calculated.
Is it
So-
gonna be like this hall?
It depends on where you live. So some of you might be doing it in a big exam hall like this, but not steeped, more like flat, like a gym or like the undercover area of your school. Some of you will be doing it in individual classrooms.
Melvin,
Okay.
Yes.
it's just about this question. You know the graph that was related to this question?
Yep.
How do you know which one is the year? Is it like the bottom one or the top one?
So it says it here. So it says the question 26 to 29 of the following graph refers to the population of a certain bacteria as a decimal over time in years. So a way to kind of like tell what is which is normally in graphs, when you change the bottom half, the top gets affected, right?
Okay.
So for example, does it make any sense for you to say when the population is 1, for example, actually, another way to think about this is another way to tell that this is this is time and this is population, Shanvi, is that it tells us the population goes to 0, correct? Because it says it goes extinct, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you look at the line, it's going down to 0. So that means this is the population and this is time. When more time happens, it goes to 0. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to take some questions from the chat now. So the next 2 questions, I'll take it.
Wait, Melvin.
Wait, Melvin.
So is it about this question?
This is a question about the gate test.
Okay.
Will the gate test be colored or will it be black and white?
Colored, because the government's very rich. So
Okay.
Yeah. Kushal?
What was your gate exam score?
What was my gate exam score?
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember, man. Like I took the gate exam in 2016, so that's almost 8 years ago now.
I didn't.
And then, but it was high enough to get me into Perth Mod, so I studied at Perth Mod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Melvin.
All right. Next question. Yeah.
Melvin. Do you know is
Sorry.
Melvin,
Yeah, Mahi.
is the gate exam in paper or is it on computer?
Paper. Till this year for sure it has to be in paper. I know so your NAPLAN is in computer for sure, yeah.
Wait, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Melvin,
All right, Jay.
are you allowed to bring a digital watch to see the
Yes, my
timer?
friend. Yes. So I would 100% recommend you. My friend, please. I'm speaking, Pratha and Janvi. Yes, you're allowed a digital watch, Jay. The main thing I would recommend you to do is make sure that it's digital, not a smartwatch. Do you know the difference between those two?
Yes.
Yeah, and then the second thing is make sure you don't have the sound on. So don't put an alarm on. Okay? Because I'm sure they'll tell you to turn it off.
Not even a beep.
I would like prefer you to turn it off because it'll be annoying for everyone. And then what if they tell you to turn it off during the exam and then you're like trying to like figure out how to do that while you're taking the exam.
Melvin,
All right. Yes, Parth?
what if you can't turn the sound off for your watch?
Figure it out, I guess. I don't know, mate. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Last question from
Just don't
Pravina.
bring the watch in the first place. They have the timer up on the wall.
No, I'll bring a watch because you never know what could happen with the timer, right? Guys, I'm telling you, like organizing these sort of exams, it's not easy work. Like it seems easy because you guys are just coming in and you're seeing everything being run, but there's so many moving parts. So for example, someone has to bring in paper from the centralized location. Teachers have to come on the weekends to do this. The classrooms have to be arranged. You never know what could happen, right? You never know if the clock in that room is broken, if the projector's not working, the teachers don't know how to use it. So many things could go wrong. So what I'm telling you is bring your own watch. It'll be the best thing to do. Just make sure that you don't have an alarm or like it's constantly beeping. All right, I'll take 2 more questions.
Melvin.
One second. I'm taking 2 more questions. One's from Pravina and then one is from Hurain, and then I'll end the lesson there today. So Pravina,
Did you send the mock exam 3 answers? Because my mom didn't get it.
no Pravina. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the lesson, I'm still finalizing it just because again, we made a lot of new questions for you guys. We're not recycling the exact same booklet from last year. We made a lot of new questions. And when you do that, it takes a lot of time to go back and then remake the answer keys. So I'm just still doing that at the moment. And then last
And
question.
also
Oh yeah, Pravina.
Oh wait, you can go to her first.
No, Pravina, go for it.
Melvin,
But I forgot. You can go to her first.
All right. All right.
You know how in some of the questions for like abstract reasoning, there's like these questions that ask you how a dice would be folded and everything? Like how,
Folded.
like sometimes when it has the net of a dice and then it shows you what the actual designs or patterns are, and then it asks you which one looks like the actual dice.
Right. Let me ask before you continue, is this a question you saw in a practice paper that's not from Loyola?
Yeah.
Which company or where did you get this from? Like, do you remember?
I can't remember, but my dad downloaded it online, and then what it was, it showed a net of a cube, and then it had like dots on some, and then there were 4 options of a folded cube, and then it said which ones are possible.
Yeah.
So, are you allowed to make stuff there from the paper that you're given?
Well, first of all, Horain, I've good news
That's
for you.
from the
You will never get questions like that in the GATE test because those questions are most likely someone just like being very lazy and getting random questions, or it could be a question from the eastern states. I'm not sure. But in the Western Australian GATE exam, you won't get questions like that. The questions you see in the Loyola papers, those are the only question types you would get as of now. Now, this year, I don't know what type of, if they bring a new question type, they might, unlikely, but they could. But until last year, these are the only 2 question types that you will get. Do you understand?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
What,
All right,
Melvin?
sorry, boys and girls, I do have to end the lesson there because I have to go help my dad out with something. But I have to go now. Okay?
Easy.
Yeah.
Thank you.